Just a quick heads up before we begin. Everything in this episode was accurate when we recorded it, but things move fast in evidence-based medicine. For the most up-to-date and definitive information, then please refer to Red Whale Knowledge. And if you notice anything that might need updating or have any feedback, then we'd love to hear from you. Now, let's get started.
Hello, I'm Fiona Ritchie.
And I'm Nick Kendrew.
We're both part of the Red Whale team.
Come with us as we make your life easier and reignite your passion for primary care.
Welcome to the Let's Get Dancing primary care pod from Red Whale.
The primary care pod from Red Whale.
So grab your preferred drink of choice, your trainers or your dog lead, and here's what's bubbling up as we dive in search of our pearls for this month. Bubbling up this time, let's dance, getting our practice and the nation moving. After a tremendous reception in 2025, the Let's Dance campaign is back. Dance is a powerful way to support physical and mental well-being, but only 2% of UK adults do it regularly. Backed by Angela Rippon and organisations including the NHS and BBC, the Let's Dance initiative highlights how dance can improve cardiovascular fitness, boost mental health, sharpen cognition, and strengthen social connections. In this week's Pearl, we're excited to share more information about this joyous national initiative and how our patients and practices can benefit. And bubbling under for next time.
Oral problems in general practice. How confident are you? It's recently been World Oral Health Day, so we thought we would consider some of the more common oral conditions that patients may present to general practice with. How confident are you in tackling the presentations of dry mouth, oral candida, aphthous ulcers and halitosis? Stay with us for a confidence boost that might just make today or tomorrow's consultations a little bit easier.
And bubbling under for later on this month.
Headaches, red flags and brain tumours, what really matters? Brain tumours can cause devastating physical, psychological and social problems for affected people and their loved ones. Most present as emergencies, and with no individual symptom having a positive predictive value of more than 1%, picking these up early is really difficult. Patients and clinicians worry about headaches as a symptom, but headaches are very common and brain tumours relatively rare. A full-time clinician in general practice might just see 3 cases in their career. Making a diagnosis relies on suspecting it and having a sound knowledge basis. It's recently been Brain Tumour Awareness Month, so we want to help you top up that knowledge.
Cancer and frailty, why it matters and what we can do. Frailty is common in people in whom we suspect cancer and those living with cancer, and it profoundly affects outcomes, treatment tolerance, and quality of life. It can be easy to overlook when we're focused on rapid diagnosis, navigating the best referral pathway, and supporting shared understanding of treatment decisions. Failure to recognise frailty can lead to over-investigation, over-treatment, and unintended harm. We've got a clear, practical primary care approach to this often missed issue. We'll focus on where we can make a positive difference to support person-centred care. And our first pearl this time is Dance for Health. From the rhythmic movements of ancient tribes to the vibrant expressions of modern communities, dance is deeply ingrained in human culture. But now, this age-old practice is being reimagined as a powerful tool for improving health and well-being. You might remember that we covered this last year on the podcast with the new initiative Let's Dance, and that was launched by Angela Rippon, and it was backed by the UK Chief Medical Officers and leading dance organisations. And this was all with the aim of integrating dance into healthcare to promote healthier, happier lives. Now, this all tied in with our fabulous sequin-encrusted Red Whale video bite, which was presented by Hussain alongside Angela. Now, we did our best last year, but I couldn't help but think that there was something missing, or should I say we were sadly missing some vitamin A from our presentation. Angela, of course. But then if you wish hard enough for something, then your dreams might just come true. So let's get out the harp.
Angela Rippon here. Am I in the right place for the Red Whale podcast?
You certainly are. Welcome, Angela. How are you?
I'm extremely well, thank you. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am that you're devoting this entire podcast to the value of dance, the physical and medical power machine that is dance.
Absolutely. And we are so lucky to be joined by you because you are a broadcasting legend and you know a thing or two about dance, having presented Come Dancing on the BBC and more recently having been a contestant on the Saturday night entertainment juggernaut Strictly Come Dancing on BBC One. So it's so lovely to have you with us, Angela. Now, life, as they say, is a dance. And if you were choreographing your life as a dance right now, then what music would you be setting it to at the moment?
No question here. It would be definitely Pharrell Williams' version of Happy. I actually think that should be an anthem for the dance world because the music say it all, be happy. But the music itself is just infectious and you can't help moving to it. So collectively, words, music, Pharrell Williams, it's a great anthem for dance because it sums up everything that is brilliant about dancing.
Exactly. Thank you for that. And we're also very lucky to be joined by our Red Whale friend and colleague, Hussain Al Zubaidi. So, Hussain, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And I am awestruck that you've managed to get Angela onto the podcast. And I feel like the dancing credentials have vastly improved from last time.
Absolutely. Now then, we're here to talk about dance for health. So I wonder, Angela, if we could ask you to do something that you did for many years on primetime BBC One and even on occasion on The Big Breakfast in the 1990s. And that is, please, could I ask you to start us off with the headlines?
I certainly can. Only 2% of UK adults dance twice or more a month, and it's costing us joy, fitness, and maybe the NHS £158 million a year in avoidable falls. Evidence shows that dance boosts heart health, mood, memory, and social connection. So why isn't it being prescribed like any other treatment? From Parkinson's to depression, diabetes to loneliness, dance is proving a powerful medicine. So today we're stepping into the evidence and onto the dance floor.
Okay, so first things first. Angela, what counts as dancing? Does it have to be a formal class? Do I even have to be good at it?
Well, I think immediately, Nick, the answer is no to two of those questions. No, you don't have to be good at it. And no, it doesn't have to be a formal class. You should just dance for yourself. As they say, dance like no one else is watching. As to what is dance, well, it's basically just moving to music and enjoying it while you're doing it. Everything from ballet to belly dancing, Morris to the Macarena. It is the rhythmical movement of your body. And at least trying to do it is what counts. Actually, I think saying you do quite a mean Macarena, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like when it comes to dance, my wife is an exceptional and incredible dancer. I less so, but what I lack in quality, I make up in enthusiasm. And I think that's what's beautiful about dancing. You know, you do not need to be incredible to get the health benefits. And, you know, all jokes aside, did you know that dance movement therapy is a formally regulated activity by the UK Council of Psychotherapy and is a psychotherapeutic technique that uses movement to improve a person's emotional, social, cognitive, and physical health?
I did not know that.
Yeah, but what is true is that there's so much evidence-based research that demonstrates that unlike many physical activities, dance actually taps into creativity, coordination, and a word that you'll hear a lot, joy. And it engages just about all your brain areas while fostering social cohesion. In other words, you go to a dance class, you are never going to be isolated or lonely.
That's right. You know, it's inclusive, accessible, cost-effective, you know, making it ideal for diverse populations.
Okay, so it sounds like a bit of a no-brainer. So why do we, as clinicians, need to support people to dance? Well, let's hear from some of the Red Whale team.
Hi, I'm Rupa. I'm a Red Whale dentist, clinician, and the last time I danced was 6 months ago at a wedding, but I wish I could dance more.
Although I might do the occasional dance if I've got the energy at the end of a duty day, I haven't ventured onto a dance floor for about 5 years.
It's Sue Williams here, one of the Redwell presenters. When did I last dance? Well, in fact, about 3 days ago, I salsaed with doctors from the Royal Navy, the Army and the RAF when I was presenting a face-to-face GP update course with them. Before that, it was my 60th birthday party when I danced with friends and family from the age of 2 to late 60s.
Hello, I'm Susan. I'm one of the Redwell clinicians. The last time I danced was in a Redwell conga line on a course last week. It was a bit crazy, but loads of fun.
Hi, I'm Sarah, one of the Redwell clinicians. I last danced this morning while I waited for the kettle to boil to make my cup of tea.
Thanks to Rupert, Jackie, Sue, Susan and Sarah for that. And it sounds like if you want to get dancing, then you need to come on a Red Whale course. Now, the shocking statistic that you heard in the headlines is that only 2% of UK adults reported dancing 2 or more times in the past month. Angela, you're obviously in the 2% club and you want that number to be higher.
I really do, yes. I think the 2% club for this is simply not good enough. We do have an image problem here. A lot of people see dance as great entertainment, or beyond that, they think of it as a sort of fluffy irrelevance. They don't think of it in terms of what it can do for people for their health. So we really have all got our work cut out to turn it around, because the Sport England Active Lives survey that was carried out in 2023 told us that the uptake of dancing has actually declined in the past 2 decades. I'm not sure that it totally has, because there is a higher uptake among young people, but it does drop off significantly into adulthood. And that's a real shame, because I always say to people, you should think of dance as being an investment in your well-being pension plan, because if it's something that you start when you're young and continue well into your 60s, your 70s, your 80s and your 90s, it will enable you to live a long, healthy and fit later life.
Yeah, I've got some more numbers to throw into the mix there. There's been a 50% drop in GCSE and A-level dance qualifications since 2008. And 30% of adults currently do not meet the Chief Medical Officer's minimum physical activity guidelines. So as Angela said, we have got our work cut out.
We really do have, Hussain. In fact, you just touched on one of the areas in which we're working, and that is to try and get more dance into schools, because of the way that kind of physical activity really does have a very positive effect on the young people who get involved in it. We actually need to spread the word that dancing is fun, it's liberating, and it's exciting, and offering a more accessible and motivational way to support those who struggle to engage with traditional forms of exercise. Because, not everyone wants to go to the gym, do a park run, or go to cycling. So dance is a viable alternative. I'm getting a bit concerned that all that we're saying so far does sound a bit negative. I think the thing that we mustn't forget in all of this is that dance really is joyful. There is a lot of good news. So let's take a look at some of the key benefits that there is to dance.
Yes, and we'll come on to the benefits of our mental health in a moment. But first, let's start with physical health. Dance enhances cardiovascular fitness, musculoskeletal strength and balance.
Yes, there really is so much evidence-based research that's been done into this, which actually demonstrates that generally dance is the one exercise that really is brilliant for the health and well-being of your mind as well as your body, as well as social contact. So you've got programs like Dance to Health, which reduce fall risks significantly by some 58%, with estimated NHS savings of £158 million annually. And that comes from a study in the Royal Society for Public Health that was published in 2021. The same study also found that participants actually showed significant improvement in the timed up and go, or the tug test, which is a lovely title, isn't it? With average times reducing by 16%, that's 2.08 seconds, after 26 weeks, and by 20%, 2.40 seconds after a further 30-week maintenance phase. And it really will help people to prevent falls, because it'll improve their core balance, it'll improve their balance and their coordination. And I read statistics somewhere that came from the Medical Research Council that said every year something like 1.6 million people over 60 in this country have a fall. And that does cost the NHS not just millions, but billions of pounds. So if we can get people fit as they get older, it will reduce the amount of falls that they have.
If you're not familiar with the timed up and go test, then it's a screening test to measure the probability of falls in older adults. Taking more than 12 seconds to complete the tug test indicates impaired mobility and an increased risk of falls, and a reduction in time taken indicates an improvement in mobility. So these reductions are to be celebrated. Angela, please can you tell us a bit more about the benefits found in the Dance to Health programme?
Oh, I would love to, Nick, because there is, again, so much research being done in this area. Dance really does have a major effect. Indeed, there was a statistically significant reduction in participants' fear of falling, for instance. We were just talking about falling by the end of the initial phase of the Dance for Health programme. And 96% of participants reported that they felt more physically active during the programme, and they had improved their mental well-being. There was actually another interesting benefit. Hussain, can you tell us about PAM?
Yeah, so PAM stands for Patient Activation Measure, which is a standardized measurement of patient knowledge and capability in managing their own health. It used across NHS England, and this improved during the programme, indicating that patients felt more confidence in taking care of their well-being after participating in the programme.
And actually, you and I have had a conversation, haven't we, in the way in which you sent customers who have osteoarthritis to dance.
Yeah, no, the experience has been fantastic, because where we sometimes struggle to engage in what we know within the NICE guidelines for osteoarthritis of getting more weight-bearing activity, strengthening the muscles, improving aerobic activity through kind of traditional means, using dance as a mechanism, we found uptake has been far higher. And we've had a local dance teacher who's also a physiotherapist run sessions at our practice, which has just been phenomenal, not just to see the symptoms improve, which we measured both before and after the programme, but they just came back with a smile on their face, which I think is the best bit.
Yeah, and that's the priceless bit, isn't it? That's wonderful. So that's the physical health benefits. Let's move on to the mental health benefits now. And you probably won't be surprised to know that dance has great benefits here too. But what does the evidence say? According to Frontiers in Psychology from 2019, dance reduces depression and anxiety across all age groups. A 30-minute dance session significantly reduced symptoms of severe depression in one hospital study, and that's from the international journal The Arts in Psychotherapy from 2007. Whilst Frontiers in Public Health in 2024 told us that adolescents in an online hip-hop programme during the COVID-19 pandemic reported improved well-being and optimism.
I mean, actually, I think the benefits of dance for brain health and social connection are really, really important to talk about. As I say, dance really does help people with mental health to dance out of their darkness, whether they have severe mental health or depression and stress. It's all those wonderful, the dopamine and the serotonin. It absolutely fires up your synapses in your brain, and really does help you to feel happy when you're dancing, which is important. It does promote cognitive function and brain health by combining movement with creativity, coordination, and social interaction. And also regular dance will increase hippocampal size. It enhances memory and strengthens the executive function. That's the technical wording for it that comes from Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience that was published in 2022. But basically what it does, it enables you to absorb information more quickly and retain that information for longer. It is those synapses being really fired up. So what have you got for us on social connection, Hussain?
Work done by the Campaign to End Loneliness found that dance combats isolation, fostering a sense of community and belonging. Older adults in community dance sessions often form lasting social bonds. But it's not just for the older generation, because programs such as Conscious Clubbing provide young people with inclusive, substance-free social opportunities.
It's true. You're never isolated or lonely if you go to a dance class. Well, that's the science behind this, which obviously is important to run through. But I think we also need to make sure that we don't lose the joy and the energy that dance brings to proceedings. So can we shake things up a bit, perhaps, and shake them down? And even shimmy a bit as well.
We can, and I like your style, Angela. So now, in the written Pearl and the associated online article, there is a table which goes through the benefits of dance for specific health conditions. Now, we could just read that out, but where would be the fun in that? Instead, we have the largest wheel in the world, so big that it has to exist in an audio-only environment. So you're going to have to use your imagination to visualise just how large this wheel is. Now, on the wheel, we have put all the health conditions that benefit from dance. So we're going to spin the wheel, and we're calling it the functional medicine wheel. And wherever it lands, one of us will give a quick rundown of benefits and the evidence base behind them. So, Angela, can I ask you to spin the wheel, please?
Absolutely. I tell you, in all my years of broadcasting, I don't think I've ever seen a wheel so large. Oh, use your imagination here, but let's give it a spin. It's time to go from diagnosis to dance floor.
And it's landed on... Angela, can you see from where you are where it's landed?
Yeah, I can. It looks like it's Parkinson's disease. So, Nick, what can you tell us about that?
Well, Angela, with Parkinson's disease, dance helps by using rhythmic cues from music to override impaired internal rhythm generators, improving balance and coordination. And that's from Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience from 2022. Now, my favourite fact here is that the tango has shown particular benefits for balance and mobility, and that's according to BMC Geriatrics in 2021.
If you've ever spoken to Caroline Rassel, who is the CEO of Parkinson's UK, she will tell you dance is a miracle. Not a miracle cure, because as we know, there isn't one, but it is a miracle in the way that it affects people's bodies when they've got Parkinson's.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. Thank you. Okay, are you ready for another one?
Yes, I am. Let's give it an extra large push this time and see where it takes us. And it's landed on type 2 diabetes and obesity. Hussain, this is right up your street, I think. What can you tell us about that?
Thanks, Angela. Well, dance helps weight management, glycemic control, and body composition. That's from the Journal of Diabetology and Metabolic Syndrome in 2014.
Thanks, Hussain. And we'll spin the functional medicine wheel again a bit later on. Now, it seems that some of the benefits of dance come down to the power of music to motivate. Music and dance are intertwined, aren't they, Angela?
They really are, Nick. I think it's in our genes. When you think worldwide, the people who have particular music that respects their ethnic and their cultural origins, they all have dances that go with it. You just can't help dancing to music. There's a sort of natural desire to move in response to rhythmic moving, making dance much more engaging than traditional exercise. Actually, you can probably feel yourself wanting to move to the music that's playing right now. Don't resist it. Become part of the 2% club with me, because this is just infectious.
Fun and creativity, often overlooked in health interventions, play a crucial role in fostering participation and sustained engagement. And here's a bit of musical science for you. Music is often designed to promote dance. One way this is done is by creating short gaps or weaker beats, which encourage participants to fill in the gaps through movement, deepening engagement.
Let's spin the functional medicine wheel one last time.
Yes, and as an Ironman Hussain, you need to give it a huge spin here.
Here goes. Oh, it is heavy, isn't it? And it's landed on chronic pain and fatigue. Angela, what can you tell us about that?
Well, the journal Pain Medicine back in 2022 told us that dance improves pain scores or pain experience in conditions such as fibromyalgia and generalized chronic pain.
Yes, and chronic pain and fibromyalgia are often very difficult to help with in primary care, so this is something to add to our toolkit.
Now, Angela, the Let's Dance campaign, you launched that in March last year, 2025. It's a nationwide initiative aimed to promote the physical and mental health benefits of dance across the UK.
It is. I mean, and I think when I originally had the idea, which was actually in 2024 originally, when I was still working on Let's Strictly Come Dancing, my aim was to follow the lead given by Lord Darcy and by Chris Whitty, saying that we should all take more responsibility for our own health. And I thought, well, dance is a great way to get the nation fit and also to save the NHS money. So, those were my two original objectives. But my goodness, ever since it has grown and expanded. But basically, still, we want to raise awareness of dance's benefits for mental and physical health. We want to facilitate access to dance activities for all fitness levels, for all ages and experiences, and to foster social connections through dance.
And all of that sounds absolutely fabulous. Now, dance is something that's been in your life from a very young age. So how did you first get into dance and what does it mean for you?
I was 4 years old. And I had knock knees. And the local doctor, a wonderful Scotsman, said to my mother at the time, we can either give her built-up shoes or send her to a dance class. And she actually sent me to a dance class. And when you think about that, that was a very early indication of using dance to help a medical condition. It was getting rid of my knock knees. And dance has gone on. As you say, it's what it means to me now is that it's become and has remained a very important part of my private life, and that I dance and I'm involved with a lot of independent dance companies, dance teachers and dance organizations. And in my professional life, I've been able to incorporate it not only in the things that I've done and presented, you mentioned Come Dancing, but also documentaries that I've done, particularly the series that I did with Chris Van Tullicum about how to stay young, where we featured very much that dance was an important way of ensuring that you keep your body fit and flexible, that will help you to stay young as you get older. It's not a cure-all for everybody, but my goodness, it really can make an entire difference to your, as we said earlier, to the mental and physical well-being of your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank goodness that your mum chose to send you to a dance class. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation now, would we?
Exactly.
Now, everybody remembers that iconic sketch with Eric and Ernie, Morecambe and Wise. Absolutely phenomenal. If you've not seen it, and I can't believe that you haven't, then give yourself a treat and go and watch it online. You will not be disappointed. Now, with that, Angela, when did you first get the inkling that it was something really special rather than just another day in the office?
I think it was probably the day when I was in the office and Ernest Maxim, who was Eric and Ern's producer, rang me and said, the boys would like you to be in their Christmas special. I mean, that was pretty special for me because at the time it was the program at Christmas that everybody watched. We're talking about, 50 years ago? And I suppose however you look at it then, it also started to sink in when we realized that the viewing figures were somewhere between 23 and 26 million people who tuned into that. And you just can't get that these days because there's such a plethora of television stations. But, and I don't think a single week, it used to be not a single day, but a single week goes by without someone saying to me, what was it like to work with Eric and Ern? So I suppose really, bearing in mind that it was 50 years ago that I did it, for half of my life, it's been rather special rather than just another day in the office because, there are whole generations that weren't even born when I did that, who still watch those two brilliant comics on YouTube, on video, whatever. It's been, again, one of those pillars of my life and one of the associations that I've always had with dance.
And something so special like that is really ingrained on people's memories. And that's why they keep coming back to it. I think they're tapping into the joy of it, aren't they? That's what it is.
Very much so, yes.
So then back to the Let's Dance campaign, further joy. How have things progressed over the past year?
Oh my goodness, I have to say that they have exceeded all of my original expectations. And I think what is really brilliant about it is the way that not only people are seeing dance as a proper exercise, it can be high impact, low impact, but it has impact just as dance if you don't want to go to the gym or do a park run. But more than that, what I've really, really been fascinated by is the way that dance is now making its way into the medical profession and being taken seriously. I mean, we're doing a lot of work with hospitals, particularly with helping with deconditioning. You know, if you're in hospital and you're there for a long time, your muscles atrophy. And the work that's been done by Scottish Ballet, for instance, in hospitals in Scotland, in many of the hospitals here in Britain, there's so much that we can do to improve the condition of, I think it's helping to ensure that inactivity does not cause harm to patients in hospital. And I've got people working in hospitals who are saying to me, we would like to introduce dance not just for our staff, but also particularly for our patients. So that's working in a lot of areas now. Getting greater understanding from GPs through social prescribing, because dance is one of those things that you can prescribe under social prescribing. And as we've been saying, there are so many areas of health where dance really makes a very positive difference to the condition and the way in which people are able to live with particular conditions. And we're training dancers, all of those organisations like the RAD, the Royal Academy of Dance, the Place, Dance UK, who train those dancers who don't want to be performers, they want to be teachers. We're actually training them now and giving them the opportunity within their courses to learn much more about health and well-being, so that they emerge as fully fledged teachers who have that powerful tool in their grasp that they can then pass on to doctors who can use it in their medical toolkit.
Fabulous. And where would you like to see Let's Dance going to next?
I think that the most important thing we have to do is improve the image of dance generally. It's always going to be a wonderful entertainment, something to watch. It's always going to be something fun to do. You know, if you're out with mates and you go to a disco or you're at a family function like a wedding or whatever, it's always going to be a fun thing to do. And many people do choose dance as a way of exercising rather than, as I say, you know, doing weights or many of the other things. Exercise of any sort is good for you, but dance has this extra thing. It ticks so many extra boxes in that it does work on the brain. You do have to think about what you're doing. You have to remember the steps. You have to learn how to do them. So it really does fire up the synapses in your brain. And I've never seen anyone come out of a dance class that doesn't have a smile on their face. But I don't always see that. I think when you're in the gym and you see someone come off a cross trainer dripping in their lycra saying, that was fun, because it's rather different. So I'd love it. I'd love more people to recognise what it can do for you just on a pure physical level, and helping you to move and graduate into a healthy old age. But also, I think, to see that more doctors, more surgeons. I have a surgeon in Liverpool who says he wanted me to send him the names of dance teachers in Liverpool because he wanted to put more of his patients on the dance floor before he put them on the operating theatre. You heard how Hussain was saying that he sends people with osteoarthritis to a dance school because the benefit that his patients get and the effects that it has on them is far greater than anything he could ever write in a prescription. So it would be lovely to get social prescribing GPs and link workers all over the country recognising the value of dance, to get more dance into hospitals, and for more people actually to realise what a very powerful tool it is in the toolkit of doctors and surgeons and nurses and the health service in general. We're getting there, slowly, but we are getting there, and I think the more we have positive results that we can say, look at a difference that it's made, see what it has done for this hospital, for these patients, that people will stop thinking it as a sort of fluffy irrelevance and will actually see the power that dance can have in maintaining the health of the nation in so many different areas and helping to save the NHS money, which basically, I suppose, were my first two objectives.
Brilliant. And hopefully our conversation today will help with all of that. Thank you for that, Angela. So we're all convinced about the benefits of dance. There's clearly evidence behind it. But how do we encourage behaviour change when we know that people are struggling to fit activity into their day-to-day lives? Hussain, do you have any tips on how we can integrate dance into healthcare?
Yeah, dance can be a fantastic way to support many of our patients. Social prescribing dance initiatives are present, but patchy. The National Academy of Social Prescribing, NASP, lists a number of successful examples, but here are some specific ones. Dance Network Association runs a Dance on Prescription initiative to promote health through community dance. Dance to Health reduces falls and enhances well-being. Central Basildon Primary Care Network has a Dance on Prescription. And Care to Dance, based in Coventry, aims to improve the well-being of care-experienced young people through dance and to build inclusive communities where they feel safe, supported, and can express themselves freely. So you can look at those in the article. They are all linked. And as I mentioned before, we have an incredible dance group based with osteoarthritis to support people with the symptoms and discomfort and to have good fun. We found it really beneficial.
And I've heard that some medical school training programs now include training on arts-based prescriptions, encouraging future healthcare professionals to integrate dance into patient care. One of the things I find is that it can be hard to know what's available and finding something accessible for people. For example, I didn't know until recently that chair dancing was available in my area, but that's something that I've recommended to a few of my patients, and it's been great for them, and that's fabulous to hear about. Are there any other ways that we can help people, Hussain?
Well, Nick, we can host dance events to engage new participants. In my primary care network, we've also launched a dance group for Parkinson's patients and their carers using Argentinian tango, which I don't know if you've tried before, is very good fun. Now, our local community centre has provided the space, and we've received funding from our active partnership and local council. We can also look to collaborate with dance instructors to offer sessions for our patients. And in fact, the Royal College of GPs Active Practice Charter encourages practices and networks or clusters to collaborate with local physical activity providers. Let's Dance can be your way of achieving that status.
And do remember that you don't need to be doing this all by yourself. You can signpost or refer patients to local groups. And indeed, one of the things that I'm in the process of encouraging all the dance teachers that are part of Let's Dance throughout the whole country to do is they know who their local GP is, to go along to the local GP surgery, knock on the door, introduce themselves to the link workers and say, dance is a wonderful thing that you can use in social prescribing to help the health and well-being of your patients. And I'm your nearest teacher, so send them to me. So it's a combination, I think, of being proactive in this and getting more dance teachers and more link workers and doctors to work collaboratively in their area. And do you know what's on offer for your patients locally? I suppose that's something that I should be asking your GPs. If not, just consider who is well placed to find out. Your social prescriber, your regional active partnership, your local dance teacher, who I hope will come and say hello to you. You can also promote the Let's Dance campaign within your community. And you can always go on the Let's Dance website, which is lets-dance.org.uk, and you will find lots and lots of communication guides there, lots of promotional materials, things that you're able to share with your patients.
Fabulous. Thanks, Angela. And there's a link to that in the written Pearl and the associated article online. And we'll also put a link to that in the show notes as well.
Considering the growing body of evidence supporting the physical, mental and social health benefits of dancing, now is a better time than ever for us as clinicians to embrace its potential as an empowering tool for patient well-being. By recommending dance as a form of physical activity, we can help people and ourselves find joy, improve fitness, and build meaningful connections, all of which contribute to better health outcomes.
Yes, absolutely. And I've learned so much from reading this, Pearl, and from being here today and having this conversation. So let's step up and integrate dance into our conversations about health, empowering patients to move, thrive, and lead healthier lives. Here are the take-home messages for Dance for Health. Dance has wide-ranging benefits. It improves cardiovascular fitness, mental health, cognitive function, and social connections, whilst addressing conditions such as Parkinson's disease, diabetes, and depression.
However, there has been a decline in dance participation. Only 2% of UK adults report that they dance regularly, and participation drops significantly with age, highlighting the need for targeted promotion.
Dance also has an economic impact. Programs such as Dance to Health reduce fall risk, potentially saving the NHS $158 million annually.
And I'm going to do a plug here. The Let's Dance campaign encourages healthcare professionals to promote dance, to host events and refer patients to dance activities so that they can harness its transformative health benefits. It aims to integrate dance into healthcare to promote happier, healthier lives. But just as importantly, as well as ticking those boxes, let's all dance ourselves.
Angela, we can't let you go without asking you this. Now, we have an old-fashioned red phone box here at Red Whale, and we can send it back into any time and place in your personal timeline for you to give your past self some advice when you needed it most. Now, the only issue is that due to budget constraints, we can only give you a 20-second phone call with your past self. So where and when are you sending the phone box back to? And what would you say in those very precious 20 seconds?
Nick, very simply, I would go back to the year 1949. The place is Plymouth, and it would be the time when my mother took me to my first dance class at Miss Delver's School of Dance as a 5-year-old. And the message I would give to myself in just 20 seconds would be, Angela, remember this moment as you step onto the dance floor, because you have no idea what those first steps to music are going to shape every aspect of your life.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you. You take care.
And you too. Thanks very much indeed.
Now, if you're hankering after a Red Whale Knowledge subscription, then we're offering a 10% discount on Red Whale Knowledge for our fabulous Red Whale pod members. And how do you become a member, I hear you ask? Well, if you're listening to us, then you are part of our pod. And all you have to do is go to redwhale.co.uk, put Red Whale Knowledge in your basket and enter the code RedWhalePod to get 10% off. And here's a small print. The discount is only for this product and it won't work on anything else. And please also note that this voucher code is all one word and all lowercase, and it can only be used once. Red Whale Pod.
If you've enjoyed listening, then please give us a 5-star rating on whichever platform you use. It only takes a few seconds and we'd really appreciate it. If you can spare a little more time, then please leave us a nice review too. Because of the way the algorithms work, it means that other people just like you can discover us.
And of course, putting algorithms aside, there is no greater recommendation than a word of mouth recommendation. So if you've got value from listening to the podcast today, then don't keep it a secret. Please tell everybody that you know who might also benefit from listening. All the resources that you need are in the show notes, and all the links are in the show description on your preferred podcasting platform.
You can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. If you want us to see something about the podcast, then please use the hashtag RedwellPrimaryCarePod.
The other thing that you can do if you click on the link in the bio is to leave us a voice message telling us about anything that you found helpful or would like us to go over.
And you can email us. Our address is podcast@red-whale.co.uk. And if you want to tell us about a change to your practice that's come about by listening to us, which we'd love to hear about, then please email us at impact@red-whale.co.uk. Until next time, I'm Fiona Ritchie.
And I'm Nick Kendrew.
Remember to keep Red Whale Knowledge open on your desktop at work, so we're with you when you need that bit of extra information or reassurance.
Take care and look after yourself. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.